Alright, welcome back. I haven't seen you guys in a little while, but I'm pretty excited to be back today with a new series for the channel called Storm Psychology. Now, this series is going to be all about learning new concepts about human psychology and learning how to implement those theories into Heroes of the Storm to help you win more games. And today's topic is going to be delayed gratification. Now, delayed gratification is the ability to resist temptation for a small, immediate reward in order to receive a larger reward in the future. So basically, it means that you sacrifice something now so you can have an advantage later. And you see this in life all the time. Like, you save money in the bank now so you can have more interest later. You don't eat that donut that's high in fat now so you can be skinnier later. Stuff like that. Now, studies have shown that those who are good at delayed gratification end up with better lives in general. So, the most famous study related to delayed gratification is the Stanford marshmallow experiment, where children who are able to resist the temptation of a marshmallow were found later in life to have superior grades, test scores, personality metrics, and even physical health. If you don't know about that marshmallow experiment, basically the kids were told to not eat that one marshmallow in front of their table, and they'll get like 2 or 3 later. And they were successful in the experiment if they didn't eat it, and they failed the experiment if they did eat that one marshmallow. So, how does this relate to Heroes of the Storm? Well, we're going to go over 7 ways that you can apply delayed gratification to Heroes of the Storm to help you win more games. Number 1 is going to be experience soaking. So, new and greedy players have a tendency to ignore soaking and instead go for ganks while neglecting experience. Now, these guys are looking for an immediate satisfaction of getting a kill instead of the long-term investment of a level advantage. So, making sure you're around to see the enemy minions die might mean that 5 minutes later, because of that, you get your heroics first, and they'll wipe the enemy team at level 10 because you hit 10 first. So sacrificing the possibility of a kill now means that you have a much higher chance of winning a huge team fight later. Number 2 is map vision. Capturing a watchtower is a pretty deliberate action that often ends up causing like a 5 to 10 second detour, and it doesn't really pay off at all right away. But later on, that little bit of vision around that watchtower that you just got could give you some pretty important information, like, for example, an enemy gank path, or even like an entire enemy team rotation that you otherwise wouldn't have known about. So, by sacrificing several seconds of your time now, you're investing in an information source that could end up basically shifting the entire pace of the game later. Number 3 is waiting to select talents. So, a lot of people immediately select talents by reflex, like just control 1, control 2, but it's actually a good idea to sometimes hold on to your talent selection. For example, waiting about half a minute for the remaining 9 players in the game to pick their talents first could actually help you pick the correct situational talent in response to them. So, by sacrificing a little bit of power now, you make a better informed decision later that will help you synergize with your allies or counter your enemies a little bit better. Number 4 is camp timing. So, this one I'm a little bit more passionate about. So, way too many players are impatient when capping mercenary camps, and they just try to cap them right away as soon as possible. And the most common situation where I see this is where people cap the siege giants on the haunted mines right away when the enemy grave golem skull thing is walking down the lane. And they cap it too early, and the giants just walk right past the golem, and you miss out on a ton of damage. Stop. Don't do that. So by sacrificing... You know what? There really isn't anything that you even sacrifice in this situation. Like, you literally just don't do it. You don't cap it. You sacrifice it. Maybe you sacrifice a few seconds of your time. You just sit there, you wait. You just wait. And then you get a ton of damage on the enemy grave golem a little bit later. So just wait. Now, the bad thing about my passion for this is that Haunted Mine was taken out of the map rotation. So at this point, it doesn't even really even matter. But number 5 is ability cooldowns. So just because an ability is off cooldown doesn't mean you have to use it immediately. Spamming abilities whenever they're available causes you to miss a lot of opportunities to make a bigger impact with those same abilities later. So for example, if you're playing Lily, instead of immediately using your blinding winds at the beginning of a team fight on just their tank, wait for example, the Butcher to charge in, and then right as he applies Butcher's brand onto someone, blind him then. And a blinding winds timed here will have an infinitely greater value than just dealing like 20 damage to just their tank at the beginning of the fight. Number 6 is stack building talents. So there's actually some delayed gratification built right into the game in some talents, like Seasoned Marksman and Leoric's Reanimation. So, taking Reynad for an example, taking Seasoned Marksman at level 1 is not really going to do much for you right away, obviously, because you have 0 stacks, but so for example, you could have instead taken a talent like Give Me More, which will start having an immediate healing effect right away. But in exchange for that, you're going to end up doing a lot more damage later if you take Seasoned Marksman. Now, of course, this isn't really a great example because we're trying to compare an offensive talent with a defensive talent, but I'm sure you get the point. Give up some power now and get more power later through that talent. And finally, number 7 is going to be communication. So you can actually use communication to invest into the emotions of your allies for a better result later. So you're more or less putting them on anti-tilt. So making them feel great at the beginning of the game so they can perform better later. Now the bad thing about communication is that a lot of people only start communicating when something is already going wrong. Like they type, why this, why that. So it's useful to actually use communication right from the beginning of the game to start it off on a positive note. So by sacrificing a little bit of effort now, by typing in some messages to your teammates and lightening the mood, you'll usually get a more positive gaming experience later. Alright, so that's going to be the end of the 7 ways that you can use delayed gratification to your advantage. The next episode of Storm Psychology is going to cover cognitive dissonance. So, make sure you subscribe to the channel if you want to be notified when that gets posted. And I'll see you guys next time.
I'm still in that ass. 2 seconds and I'm going in deep.
Yeah, drop.
Bomb?
Oh yeah, bomb him.
I missed, I think. Oh, there it is! Hey!